All right now. Let's see. Nah, Gauntlet's too old. Cabal. The Helmet of Eli. Kind of boring. I think I'm gonna go with Cabal. New era. Let's go! Yippee! Holy shit. It's a lot of assholes on this list. Let's see. Bayless. I don't know. Who should I roast today? Who do I feel like roasting today? Let's see. I'll pick the veteran Smith since it's Veterans Day. Oh, come on, boys. You know I have to choose my home turf for this one. All right, now it's time to party.
There ain't no grave can hold my body down. There ain't no grave can hold my body down.
Stephen A. Smith's influence on the weak minds of the youth is contagious. If you do not have a strong mind and spirit, you will look at ignorance as intelligence. This comment right here is the reason why I make these videos. This guy says, funny thing is that Stephen A. Smith is the highest paid ESPN employee. So no matter what y'all think about him, he's playing the game right. And if I was in issues, I wouldn't change my approach either. As long as ESPN is going to keep paying that bread to him. You gotta understand that this dude makes more money than most. Dude, do you realize that you can be wealthy without being a sellout? I mean, why not have a lot of money and respect? Some people have that I'll do whatever it takes to be on the top type of mentality, and that is not always healthy. Like, you do not have to make yourself look like a clown in front of millions of people just because you want to make millions of dollars. Like, there's other ways you can be a millionaire without doing any of that. Stephen A. Smith is not playing the game. Actually, he's glitching. ESPN knew that they effed up when they signed Stephen A. Smith to that big contract. You had a lot of viewers that watched First Take who thought that Molly Qerim was the weakest link of that show because as a moderator, she would always talk and interject. But really, it was Stephen A. Smith. And by Max Kellerman leaving the show, we see a lot of Stephen A. Smith's weaknesses. He's very insecure. He's redundant. He's a coward. I mean, First Take has become Woke Take. And you notice that his peers have been making more fun of him ever since Max left the show.
Give me a break, Stephen A. And don't act like you're the dude that sits there and lives life with logic and rationale. Because if that was the case, you wouldn't be around here being Brick and hosting Jimmy Kimmel. You would just sit on First Take and sit on Stephen A's World with all the 11 million shows you have and just chill. But you know you need to do more, just like Matthew Stafford needs to do more.
Have you ever been in an argument with someone and, you know, all of a sudden they start to get real loud and they walk away and they change the subject?
It's like the goalposts on Lamar Jackson get moved so many damn times they're in the bleachers at this point. I feel like we can't just appreciate his greatness, is constantly nitpicking over and over. Steven, he's playing like one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL right now.
I want Mina to keep going and just keep going and talk to Stephen A. a little bit more for me, because this is what I tried to tell him earlier on the show. Can this guy play the position? Well, that was answered. Well, can he make it to the playoffs? That was answered.
Then it had to take Jay Will to come on a show to expose Stephen A. and show the world how biased he is.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
But First Take viewers do not have the opportunity to debate Stephen A. Smith in his face, so it's good to see someone else do it for us. And now, you know, Stephen A.'s backtracking what he says.
We all know how I feel about Aaron Rodgers. I'm the brother that coined the phrase, he's a bad man. I mean, this brother's special, okay? I love Aaron Rodgers. I'm ashamed of him right now. If Aaron Rodgers is watching this interview Friday on Pat McAfee's show, whatever day, I think it was Friday that he did that interview, you came across as a national embarrassment.
No, Stephen A., you look like a national embarrassment. Everything you say at this point just sounds like a reach. Hell, Stephen A. knows that he sucks at his job. I mean, he kind of admits it here in this clip.
I keep trying to tell y'all. I am brilliant. because I know I'm not. I listen to those who are.
What is that,
and I
bro?
learn
You
from
say
them.
that all the time.
I learn
Yeah,
from
right,
them.
right. I'm with
I learn
you.
from them.
I know it sounded like he was joking, but you know in the back of his head, he knows that he's not carrying that show. And he knows that he is not as entertaining as he thought he was. His takes have gotten worse.
3-1 when trailing by double digits this year.
It concerns me that they get to overtime, but at the end of the day, they pull it out. And it's Harbaugh and it's Jackson.
And at some point, we got to give them credit for that. And my whole thing is, man, when I see Baltimore, it's like, okay, I'm starting to see Marquise
Make it plays.
some plays.
Make it
man.
plays.
He's making
It's not-
plays.
it's
You
not-
got to give him credit. So I
But
would
you
have Baltimore in front of Tennessee.
interception in overtime.
I would
too, though.
still have
You
Baltimore in
just-
front of Tennessee.
You just see too many instances where it's like, okay, how many times are you going to find yourself in this situation before you have to get yourself out of it? It's just shaky.
So you're
right
going
now.
Bills?
Listen, I think I would put Buffalo and Tennessee ahead,
top, yeah.
ahead of Baltimore right now because of Baltimore being so risque.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, the Bills couldn't even score 10 points against a terrible Jaguars team with a dysfunctional coach. But the Ravens look more riskier in the AFC, even though the Baltimore Ravens have now 17 players that are on injured reserve. And recently, Deshaun Elliott got injured against the Vikings. Now he is out for the season. And all Stephen A. Smith can talk about is the interception that Lamar Jackson threw in overtime, which technically wasn't really his fault. Devontae Freeman was supposed to pick up Anthony Barr, but, Stephen A. Smith don't know football. And he doesn't mention the fact that Lamar Jackson, redeemed himself and took the Ravens down the field, and Justin Tucker kicked the game-winning field goal. And you got ignorant people in my comment section that say, oh, but it's because Stephen A. Smith is a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Well, then how come Ryan Clark, a guy that has played for the Pittsburgh Steelers, has religiously defended Lamar Jackson? I mean, he is the lamest Steelers fan that I have ever seen. And to that guy who made that comment saying that Stephen A. Smith is playing the game and he is making a lot of money, well, I have an example for you. And I'm actually very surprised that I'm using this guy as an example because I typically roast him too. His name is Colin Cowherd. Now, typically, Colin Cowherd is obnoxious. He's known to not like Baker Mayfield. And he also said that Lamar Jackson was going to be the next Tim Tebow. But he admitted that he was wrong.
But you get far more points, in my opinion. You get far more points deducted if you think you see or find something first. You're wrong and are stubborn and won't admit it. I admit I had questions about Lamar Jackson. He was kind of skinny. He ran a little too much. He got hit really hard. He had a weird throwing motion. And the first year in the league, wasn't terribly accurate. But then there's this thing called games.
And mind you, Colin Cowherd makes the same amount of money as Stephen A. Smith. So this shows you this has nothing to do with money. It has everything to do with character and integrity. The people who are watching this video, the lesson is, do not be a sellout. You may think to yourself, oh, Stephen A. Smith's a clown. Oh, he's obnoxious. We all know this already. You may know it already, but the man sitting next to you may not. And with that comment that I showed you, it's proven that people are still influenced by the ignorance of the media. That's why I say the media is ignorant and is led by ignorant people. And Stephen A. continues to prove that. He continues to prove my point. And Lamar Jackson has given me a foundation to expose the media because it shows you that even if you are trying to get better and even if you are getting better, the media's ego or some people's ego just cannot get out of their way. But damn, for every dumb take Stephen A. Smith has, I lose health. Yeah!
I don't find you funny.
We don't care when you call our name. We don't care, we are just the same.